If you just got a drone for Christmas, your birthday, or you've been flying for fun without knowing the actual rules, stop. The FAA fined recreational pilots over $182,000 last year, and most of them had no idea they were breaking federal law. Here are the 13 rules you must follow to fly recreationally without getting fined, banned, or worse. Miss even one, and you're not recreational anymore. You need Part 107. Look, I get it. You bought a drone to have fun, fly at the park, get cool sunset shots, maybe chase your dog around the backyard. You're not running a business. You're not making money. So you figure, how complicated can the rules be? Here's the problem. The FAA doesn't care about your intentions if you break the rules. They care about airspace, safety, and enforcement. And with remote ID now active, they can track exactly who's flying, where, and when. So if you want to keep flying without a knock on your door or a four-figure fine, these 13 rules are non-negotiable. And if you violate even one of them, you're no longer a recreational flyer. You need a Part 107 license. Let's go through them one by one so you know exactly where the line is. Rule number 1, fly for fun only. Recreational means purely for fun. Not kinda, sorta, mostly fun. Not, well, I'm having fun, but also posting it on my monetized YouTube channel. Filming your kids at a soccer game? Recreational. Getting cool vacation footage? Recreational. But the second you film for a church fundraiser, a realtor friend, your monetized social media, or even a volunteer search and rescue mission, you've crossed the line. Intent matters. If there's any commercial, business, or organizational purpose, even unpaid, you need Part 107, no exceptions. And here's the trap. A lot of pilots think, I'm not getting paid, so it's fine. Wrong. The FAA defines commercial as furtherance of a business. Doesn't matter if money changes hands. You're helping a business? Part 107. Rule number 2, pick a CBO and follow their rules. You must choose an FAA-recognized community-based organization and follow their safety guidelines. This is federal law. CBOs, like the Flight Test Community Association, FPV Freedom Coalition, and STEM+C have published safety rules. You don't have to pay, you don't have to officially join. You just pick one and fly by their guidelines. And here's what most pilots miss. The CBO's rules can be stricter than the FAA's baseline. So if your CBO says no flying over 200 feet, you're bound by that, even though the FAA says 400. Not following your CBO's rules, you just lost your recreational exemption. Now you're flying illegally without a Part 107. Rule number 3, visual line of sight, always. You, or a visual observer standing next to you, must see the drone with your naked eyes at all times. Not through FPV goggles, not I think it's behind that building. Actual, direct visual contact. Flying FPV, that's fine, but only if you have a visual observer physically standing with you, watching the airspace, and talking to you in real time. They're your eyes, you're on the sticks. No visual observer, no FPV goggles, period. And here's the enforcement angle. If you lose visual contact and crash into something, or worse, someone, the FAA will investigate. And I didn't see it is not a defense. It's proof you violated the rules. Rule number 4, give way to all aircraft. Every manned aircraft, airplanes, helicopters, hot air balloons, gliders, medical choppers, has the right of way, always. If anything manned approaches, you descend immediately and move away. Extra caution near hospitals, helipads, and anywhere emergency aircraft operate. There's no, well, I was here first. There's no, I had the shot lined up. You yield every time. Rule number 5, check airspace and get authorization. Not all airspace is the same. Some areas, usually near airports, require authorization before you fly. And if you take off without it, federal violation. Use a LAANC enabled app to check your location. Green, you're good. Yellow or red, you need approval first. Some zones are auto-approved through LAANC. Others require manual FAA authorization through Drone Zone. which can take days. And here's the kicker. Even if you get LAANC approval, you might be capped at 50 or 100 feet, way below the normal 400-foot ceiling. Check your approved altitude every time. Flying in controlled airspace without authorization is how recreational pilots end up with $20,000 fines. Don't be that person. Rule number 6, stay at or below 400 feet AGL. Maximum altitude for recreational flying, 400 feet above ground level, not above your takeoff point, above the ground directly beneath the drone. Flying over a hill, your ceiling drops as the terrain rises. And unlike Part 107 pilots, recreational flyers cannot go 400 feet above a structure. That building exception doesn't exist for you. And if you're in controlled airspace with a LAANC cap at 100 feet, that's your new ceiling. The 400-foot rule gets overridden by your authorization limit. Enforcement uses radar and remote ID data. They know your altitude. Don't test it. Rule number 7, pass trust and carry your certificate. Before your first recreational flight, you must complete trust. The Recreational UAS safety test. It's free, takes about 30 minutes, and you only do it once. No minimum age, doesn't expire, completely free. You'll get a completion certificate, save the PDF to your phone, and have it with you when you fly. But Sarah, who's going to check? Law enforcement, FAA inspectors, and increasingly, local police who've been trained to spot drone violations. No trust certificate? You're flying illegally. It's that simple. Rule number 8, register your drone. If your drone weighs 0.55 pounds, that's 250 grams or more, you must register it with the FAA. $5, 3 years, non-negotiable. Register at FAA Drone Zone, the official .gov site. Do not use third-party sites charging you $30 or $50. It's $5. They'll give you a registration number. Put it on your drone, sticker, label, or Sharpie. And here's the part people miss. If you add a remote ID module to a sub 250 gram drone like a Mini, you now have to register it. The module puts you over the weight threshold. Flying an unregistered drone when registration is required? Up to $27,500 in civil penalties for a $5 registration. Rule number 9, remote ID compliance. If your drone requires registration, it must broadcast remote ID. Think of it like a digital license plate in the sky. Most drones sold after 2023 have it built in. Older models need an external remote ID module. The only exception? Flying inside a FRIA, an FAA-recognized identification area, basically a designated flying field. But I don't want the government tracking me. Tough, it's federal law. No remote ID? You can't fly legally unless you're in a FRIA. Before you buy a used drone or an older model, confirm it's remote ID compliant. Otherwise, you're buying a paperweight. Rule number 10, prohibited areas, know them. Some places are just off limits. Period. National parks, no drones, no exceptions. TFRS over stadiums and sporting events, banned. Washington, D.C. Special Flight Rules area, 30-mile radius, basically a no-fly zone for recreational pilots. Active emergency scenes, wildfires, accident sites, disaster areas, you'll get arrested. And TFRS, temporary flight restrictions, pop up constantly. Presidential travel, VIP movements, major events. You have to check before every flight using apps like B4UFLY or the FAA TFR map. Flying in a TFR, that's how you get intercepted by law enforcement. Literally. Rule number 11, night flying requires lights. You can fly recreationally at night, but your drone must have anti-collision lighting visible for 3 statute miles. Most consumer drones don't come with lights that meet the standard. You'll need to add a strobe, FAA compliant, visible from 3 miles away. And just because you can fly at night doesn't mean you should fly beyond your skill level. VLOS at night is way harder. Know your limits. No lights? Flying after dark is illegal. Simple as that. Rule number 12. State and local laws apply. Federal rules are the baseline. But states and cities can add stricter restrictions. Some cities ban drone flying in public parks. Some states restrict flying over private property without permission. Beach towns, wildlife areas, residential neighborhoods, all can have their own rules. And here's the trap. You can follow every FAA rule perfectly and still get cited by local law enforcement for violating a city ordinance. Always check local laws before you fly. Google your city plus drone laws before you unpack your gear. Rule number 13, pre-flight safety checks. Last rule, and it's the one that prevents 90% of crashes and near misses. Do a pre-flight check every single flight. Check your battery, charge level, no swelling, no damage. Inspect props for cracks, firmware up to date, GPS lock solid, compass calibrated, return to home altitude set correctly. I know it feels like overkill when you're just flying at the park, but the FAA investigates crashes. And if they find you skipped basic safety checks, that's reckless operation, which is a federal violation. 2 minutes of pre-flight checks can save you from a crash, an injury, or a lawsuit. 13 rules. If you can check every single box, you're good to fly recreationally. If even one box is a no, you're not in the recreational exemption anymore. You need Part 107. And look, I'm not trying to scare you. I want you to fly. I want you to have fun. But I also want you to do it legally so you're still flying 5 years from now. Now, if you realized halfway through this video, wait, I'm not actually recreational, I'm doing commercial work, you need Part 107. Part 107 is the FAA license for commercial drone pilots. You'll study regulations, airspace, weather, aeronautical charts, and emergency procedures. Then you'll take a 60-question knowledge test at an FAA testing center. 70% to pass. It's not easy, but it's doable. And once you have it, you can legally fly for money. And if you're thinking, I want to turn this hobby into income, I've got exactly what you need. I put together a complete drone business launch kit. Everything you need to go from hobbyist to revenue ready in 30 days. Part 107 study roadmap. Business structure templates, client outreach scripts, pricing calculators, contract templates, equipment buying guides. Links in the description. If you're serious about flying professionally, whether that's real estate, inspections, events, whatever, this kit gets you there fast. Bottom line, recreational flying is awesome. It's how most of us got started, but the rules exist for a reason, to keep the airspace safe and keep the hobby legal. Follow these 13 rules and you'll never have to worry about enforcement, fines, or losing your flying privileges. So here's what I need you to do. If this video just saved you from an FAA violation, smash that like button. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you catch my Part 107 study guide and my next video on the best drones for beginners in 2025. Drop a comment. Did I miss anything? What rules surprised you the most? I read every single one. And if you're ready to turn your hobby into a business, grab that drone business launch kit in the description. Fly smart, fly safe, and fly legal.